Oh, hello, and welcome to Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
And I'm Ronald Reagan. I mean, Dr. Leviathan.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta. But tonight we have SCP Foundation stuff. So it's going to be the Dr. Robinson statement.
Yes.
On the SCP-1981.
1981, man.
So for those of you
I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be the year.
So for those of you in the not in the know, creepypasta are creepy internet stories that get copied and pasted across the internet. The SCP Foundation stands for Secure, Contain, Protect. And it's an organization that effectively takes objects and items and entities that are kind of creepypasta and locks them away, kind of like the MIB. So we'll be doing one of the actual entries for the SCP actually has a story to it, in the form of a letter.
Well, yeah, a statement.
Yeah,
Dr. Robinson's statement even
is like any kind. Well, yeah, but a statement is also a story because it's fictional. I mean, spoilers, but like it's also like the statement of Randolph Carter and like
it's fictional.
Yeah, I know, but it's on the
bullshit,
internet.
Dude. And it's official as fuck.
Yeah, that is what they want you to think.
They have years and dates and shit.
Ew. Yeah.
Involving a former U.S. president.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just make that up.
No, I agree. So, the statement of Dr. Robinson is essentially just this doctor, this head of the of maintenance for objects at Site 73, I believe.
Well, he's not a maintenance, but his current title is Managing Archivist of Intersafe Class Objects and Anomalous Items at Site 73.
Ah, yes.
Whew, that's a heck of a business card.
Yeah. Except on the business card would just be like, Dr. Robinson, redacted.
Work at the paper company.
Yeah.
For everyone excited about the Heroes miniseries coming up.
Gotcha. Topical.
You
try.
I'm excited, so fuck you.
Fair enough. So, yeah, and this is like a statement letter, or like it's a statement for what transpired, and because he's under.
Because something bad happened to, spoiler alert, a former U.S. president.
Yeah.
And obviously some heads have to roll, and his is on the block.
Yeah, so he's giving his perspective of it as best as he recalls. So he was in charge of the safe object known as SCP-1981, which is a video cassette with...
it's a Betamax cassette.
I'm sorry, it's a Betamax cassette.
No, you don't have to apologize to me, because Sony came up with Blu-ray and got their comeuppance.
Yeah, okay.
Because they came up with Betamax, and it was the better format, but it lost, so then they came out with...
VHS.
No, someone else did VHS.
Okay, gotcha.
Once upon a time, Betamax and VHS were at war, like HD
and Blu-ray was.
Blu-ray.
For all those kiddies that don't know what we're talking about, because there are probably a bunch of them. We're old.
The way I see it is, if they're old enough to find us, they can Google Betamax.
Yeah. Yeah, to be fair, I mean, I didn't really have much contact with Betamax as a kid, so...
Neither did I. I learned about it via history.
Yeah, same. Anyway, so yeah, the object is this... It's not like they're crazy, like, don't look at it, or it snaps your neck kind of thing, or, like, whatnot. It's just it's an inert object. It doesn't do anything unless you actually, like, view it. And it does...
and it's not like a Ring type scenario.
No, it's more or less like a weird, like, creepy vision kind of thing.
It's just fucked up.
Yeah. And it involves a president, because it actually is footage of a presidential speech that gets twisted and warped and creepy and stuff. So, this Dr. Robinson gets contacted by some federal agents.
Secret Service.
Sorry, Secret Service. Wow.
Well, they are federal.
Yeah.
It's just, it's which, group are they with?
Yeah. Wanting access to take a look at the video because they have...
They're
doing
part of the guard for
Ronald
former
Reagan.
U.S. President Ronald Reagan, and they've found out that this thing exists and that it pertains to him in some way, so they're like, we need to see it.
Yeah, we need to see it to complete our investigation of the situation. And it's a threat to national security kind of stuff. So after a little bit, after some time, because they have to have it go through
and Doc's
bureaucracy.
like, fuck no, that's dumb. But whatever, I'll put your request through and it'll get shot down. And then they're
doesn't get shot down.
Well, yes, but this is important because I'm like, why the hell would they let these two asshats view it?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. But they actually give a bit of an explanation in that, they're having some, problems
with relations between
between their covert organization and government everyone knows and loves or hates, however the case may be.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, you know what? We'll throw them this little bone, and it'll make it easier for us to get funding for our gajillion mega expensive hidden compound.
Yeah, because there's so many of them.
With ridiculous containment procedures.
Yes.
Because they gotta have them.
Oh, no, they do. Like, if you, I know you haven't read a whole bunch of them, but I've seen a couple that are just like, wow, how, this is like Men in Black style, facilities, containment facilities. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Velcro?
Yeah.
Came out of creepypasta.
Slenderman's tentacles. Anyway.
Clearly it's his face. He has eyes and shit. He takes them off before he goes out.
This is going to be a fun episode, guys. They remarkably do actually okay the request, and so these agents come to this facility, which is a chemical manufacturing facility that creates the amnesiacs, the chemicals I guess the SCP Foundation uses to cause amnesia on people, or to wipe people's minds, kind of, i.e. the neuralizer, except in drug form. And so they go into the office, they bring out the tape, they have the recording material so that they can record the tape as it's playing on a old tube TV thing, and then they just kind of sit there and watch this video 3 times. And this is also the first time that the doctor has watched the video, and he finds it disturbing, and he actually looks over to the other people. They don't really seem disturbed, they're just kind of nodding and taking notes, and they watch it 3 times, and then they leave with their notes and all their stuff seemingly satisfied. Then some time passes, and they get another. He gets contacted again, and at this point the agents have stated that that former President Ronald Reagan would like to observe this video for himself, and so the doctor says I refuse because this would break. I feel this would break containment, being that this whole video is centered around that president or that individual. So I don't even think at this point. I don't think he gives them he doesn't even send the request forward, but his higher ups okay it anyway because they got wind of it, and so under protest he moves forward and lets the president or the former president and the 2 agents go watch the video again, and Ronald Reagan is fascinated with it. He's not really, doesn't seem disturbed, more as just confused or fascinated.
Just oh yeah.
And then he's even at some point during the video viewing, he's actually mouthing the speeches. So then he leaves, and that's the end of that. The agents contact the doctor another time, but he just at that point doesn't even take their calls. He just gets the secretary to deal with it. And then sometime later, there is a break-in at the chemical facility, and two individuals broke in, killed some guards, turned off the power. Oh, sorry, killed a guard, turned off the power, and grabbed
a bunch of amnesiacs.
Exactly, and then once the SCP, once he was able to verify that it was those two agents, the SCP Foundation just booked it to the Reagan estate and arrested the two agents and found Ronald Reagan almost comatose with amnesiacs in his system, like overdosing practically because he was like taking 50 times.
Take them all, take them all.
I don't know how this works. Drugs, how do you work?
Well, you start with a giant dose, and then you just give them a little bit less.
Oh, so they're following the Tim method of taking. Remember in Marble Hornets, Tim just takes the entire bottle of pills?
Sure.
Okay.
Dude, man, I watched a lot of Marble Hornets in a
true.
very short amount of time.
That is true. So, yeah, that's... he's rushed to hospital, and fortunately they're able to... He doesn't, die or anything like that from that, but he's essentially, got severe, mental condition, very similar to, Alzheimer's, which I believe in the real world, Ronald Reagan was diagnosed with it and stuff, and that's why he stepped away. So they use that as, it was actually a cover for what happened in these events, kind of thing.
I meant to look that up to see
Yeah.
if that was actually the case, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't get around to it. Mostly because I don't care.
Yeah.
So I didn't look it up.
I kind of just accepted it.
But I was like, I learned something from a creepypasta. Ronald Reagan has Alzheimer's.
And that's why he woke.
I'm good with that. I was like, alright, this is a thing I know.
G.I. Joe.
I probably shouldn't just act like that, but
I don't know.
seriously, how important is it going to? How much is it really going to affect my life if I'm mistaken?
Wait till Gen Con 2016. Our fans will just, oh hey, dude, it's like, fuck you. I don't know.
Nice try.
Editing. Anyway, yeah. So they cover it up. They cover up his injuries, I guess, or his condition because of the amnesiac overdose, with a supposedly, as far as I'm aware, the real life Alzheimer's condition that Ronald Reagan had, and so those two agents are
I'm pretty sure they're given amnesiacs.
they were, but before
Properly.
yeah, yeah, as are the rest of the Reagan estate who were there. But before that, they are questioned and stuff, and they go on about how Ronald Reagan started acting very odd after watching the video. He started becoming a recluse, started making ridiculous, weird purchases, and
Trying to have random people assassinated.
Yeah, really random people, a 4-year-old or a 10-year-old from Wisconsin or Minnesota. I can't remember which one it was. Do we have an?
Oh, I do, but just not at this exact moment. You can keep going.
Mm-hmm. And so that's pretty much it. The item is still in lockdown and stuff. And they and he's essentially just writing out. I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. This kind of thing might happen. So I leave it to the board of ethnicity
Ethics.
Ethics. To do with me what you will.
Just a bunch of Asian and Mexican and Norwegian.
I didn't
and
mean it. Oh my god.
It's obviously going to be a dude from Zimbabwe and, Japanese guys.
Yes, clearly.
It's a bitch taking their lunch order.
Oh man. So many conflicting meals. Anyway, so that's
Actually, no, they all just want burger and fries. Seriously, man.
So anyway, that's the end of the statement of Dr. Robinson. With all the sidetracking. I'm reading it. I mean, it's a pretty clinical read. Though there is some personality to it. There's a little bit of personality to it. I felt. I enjoyed the like I enjoyed the part of it where like we're getting like his reaction to the tape and like looking at the agents and like just noticing how like they were just like nonplussed by it, and then seeing how Regan like how like the actual subject of the video watching the video was reacting to it. I liked how like they actually gave a consequence to this thing because it's classified as a safe object because it doesn't really do anything to anybody save maybe disturb them because with the imagery and I think have even given some people nightmares. But it was interesting to see that that it actually did have a consequence to it. It's not just a mundane object that's kind of creepy. It actually has some kind of weight to it.
Yeah.
What did you think of the statement? Like,
yeah. It was a fun little read. I mean, it was pretty short. It really depends on your personal feelings, but I enjoyed the explanation of a real life thing like Reagan's Alzheimer's in this, clearly fantastic manner.
Yeah.
It was. I found the inclusion of that to be a little fun.
Yeah, some people get insensitive about when you do that kind of thing in stories, but whatever. I mean, it helps ground it in some kind of reality, even if it's as fantastical as some stuff that we've.
Well, exactly. Read. I mean, it's obviously fantastic, and there's that's it.
Yeah.
Like there really isn't anything else to it.
Yeah, because there's no real character development or something like that outside of Regan's reaction to it.
And yeah, I mean, it covers its tracks pretty well. As far as, huge plot holes or anything, why the fuck would you let the Secret Service guys watch this? You guys are a clandestine organization. You supersede them, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and we actually didn't...
And they're oh, yeah, well, here's why we're going to let them do it. And it's not because we need a story.
No, we need to strengthen relations between the government and the organization, so... It
led some... maybe not validity to the story, but it's okay. I was huh, why are you doing this? And then you're this is why. And I'm motherfucker.
Yeah, it didn't so much help the story as it gave a reasonable explanation for why they were doing it.
Yeah.
It made sense, so it's okay, I can see that. It made it viable.
It's okay, I
can accept this.
Yeah, you've given me an explanation. It's not... completely stupid and silly on the face of it, so I'm going to accept it, and let's see where else you want to go.
Yeah.
It's, in all of those regards, just, using Reagan, that, and all of that, and, covering its tracks, really, it's competent, because, sometimes they just aren't.
Yeah, sometimes people don't do their research, and this one actually does seem like it was relatively researched. Relatively well researched.
Sometimes it's not even about, doing the research, it's just about, it's about not... People sometimes they don't think, oh, what could be a possible problem with it? Oh, well, there isn't one, because I wrote it, and I'm awesome.
Yeah, Deus Ex Machina.
This one's just oh, yeah, that...
This is why it worked, and it's they actually thought... It actually felt like they thought it out.
This could be a plot hole. Oh, well, I'll just write some... There we go. And that's fine, that's all you need.
Yeah.
At least to make me happy.
Yeah,
people might nitpick a little more than that, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
And the actual story itself is... start to finish, it's a little clinical because it's a report, but...
Those sometimes are entertaining.
It feels like a report, so that's okay, but it's not so dry and boring that you're just sick of reading it.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty... it wasn't, oh my god, this is amazeballs, but it was entertaining. Yeah.
And I think, this style of writing a story for the SCPs are really, kind of the best format for it. I don't think I could see... I could see people writing, just normal, a regular, third-person story of an SCP item, but I think this gives it more credence, gives it more, ties it closer to the SCP Foundation and their entries. Because it's actually, a statement of somebody who works there.
Trying to. The whole... idea is just silly on the face of it, but it's harmless silly. Let people have their fun.
Yeah, which is, it's the whole foundation's a community of writers. They don't, as far as I know, they don't get paid to do this. It's all fan stuff. So
yeah,
Yeah.
They're doing it for they're doing it
for
their own fun. And I hope they have fun.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, it's a cool little.
If they have fun, I can say whatever I want about it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So it's a cool little story for the entry, and the entry itself is the SCP-1981, which, as we mentioned, it's a safe object, not like a Keter object or one of the other weird named objects they have. An Euclid, I think, is the other one. It is just a Betamax tape. You can pop it into a Betamax player and watch it on a tube TV or a normal TV or whatever. You can't copy the file. You can't copy it through any other means but recording the screen that it's playing on to get the same result.
Basically, there can't be two of these weird tapes that show something different all the time.
Yeah, and it popped up, I think, in 1991, the tape in a library, and somebody reported it to the local police. Police got involved for their basic investigation, and then
CP's like...
It's like, we're going to just take this and then...
Here, take this pill.
Exactly.
We're never here.
Yeah. Swamp gas. And then...
Freaking up Venus.
Love that movie. Anyway, and they've tried to track it down, like, where its origins are, but no luck whatsoever. And the tape itself is a Ronald Reagan presidential speech, where he comes up onto the pedestal and starts talking to an evangelist group. And the speech alters constantly, like, depending on the viewing, and it gets darker and twisted or even more prophetic. Like, they talk about, he even mentions 9/11 and other things that are redacted, because it's straight up redacted in the on the report. And there's, it even comes with, the article even comes with its own, like, screenshots of the tape. So somebody did some nice, like, photoshopping, or maybe they recorded it on the actual, that shows Ronald Reagan, like, stepping up on the pedestal, like, and talking, and, like, there's, like, static on it, and lacerations and, like, stab wounds start appearing for no reason on him until he's, like, horribly maimed and just disfigured. And these also appear at random depending on the viewing of the tape. Also, there's a entity in the tape that appears periodically, depending on the viewing. It's essentially like a Ku Klux Klan kind of character, but it's all black instead of white, and he's just kind of in the background amongst the presidential.
The peons in the background of
exactly.
a presidential speech.
Yeah, and he's been classified as SCP-1981-1, which is like what they like to do when they have something that's related, like something related to the main entity. And yeah, that's what the SCP entry is. It's just describing the video and what it does. I believe at the end it does reference that while it hasn't caused any serious effects or anything like that, Ronald Reagan for some reason started having nightmares of it, later in his career or something. But then that letter kind of describe or explain some of that maybe. It's down near the bottom
Give me
there.
a second. Nope.
Yeah, no,
about nightmares before. Yeah.
Okay, they do mention
Yeah, but they don't talk about the fact that he watched it.
No, because the entry came out.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying.
All right.
You said something, and I'm correcting you because you were a little bit. You had too much in there.
Yeah. So that's the entry. It's a creepy video that changes depending on the viewing. There's no way to duplicate it, except but you can record individual viewings. Yeah, because recording individual viewings on the screen does not they don't change. It captures that viewing of it. So, and it's creepy, Antichrist kind of speech as well. So, yeah. What do you think of the entry? Do you think does it?
Well, the entry itself. I mean, it's an entry about a creepy Betamax cassette.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's not like the Grudge, it's not like the Ring where she comes out.
Well, it's not even like that, because even that, the entry would be about a VHS tape in that case.
Yeah.
It's an entry about a Betamax tape. It's blah. It's is. You know, it's an entry about a Betamax. There is literally nothing else I can say about it.
That's true.
Oh no, it shows weird things. Well, guess what? So do my Hellraiser DVDs. You know, oh, it changes every time. Oh, okay, well, that's what makes it weird. Cool. You know? That being said, with Dr. Robinson's statement, I read the SCP entry for it after, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. It was, like, it explained it, basically. It explained exactly what happened in in Dr. Robinson's statement. And that was better.
Yeah, so it made it a more richer experience.
Because I had read Dr. Robinson's statement, I had, I have value to what they're saying about this Betamax tape.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of information.
One without the other?
Yeah.
Nah.
Combined?
Both together, they both validate each other.
Yeah. And yeah, like the tape itself, like the report or the entry we get for this SCP. I mean, it's creepy in concept or in theory, but like reading it through and then looking at it and stuff like that, it would be creepy if you actually watched it and stuff. I'm sure, but I mean, yeah, it's more or less just a kind of a weird thing or a weird object because again, it is classified as a safe object. It's not like one of the other ones that are freaky, but. Yeah, I like the entry idea of it, the concept of it. I don't know if nothing in it is going to give me nightmares because it's Ronald Reagan. It's not one of our prime ministers or.
Well, and some people really just think the fact that he was president is nightmare fuel enough.
Yeah. But yeah. Okay. So yeah, separate. They're kind of like interesting ideas, but kind of weird. Put together, they make a complete.
Together, yeah, it's better as a whole. It's the sum of its part, or it's greater than the sum of its parts.
Yeah,
when you put them both together, because when I read Dr. Robinson's statement, I didn't get that it changed every time it was played. But then I read the entry, and I'm like, oh, motherfucker, that's what makes it, super weird. Oh, okay. Because before I was thinking, like, oh, it's just like a tape from, like an alternate dimension where Reagan was,
the Antichrist.
Well, where Reagan was fucking weird.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. But then, I get, and it's like, oh, okay. Oh, it's actually, like, really, it's just unexplained. That's...
Yeah.
Actually a little bit cooler. Sometimes I like being wrong.
Yeah, okay, that was actually another thing, was that, like, the entry, to me, it's not really creepy because there's just a lot of information I don't have about it, but at the same time, that makes it kind of an intriguing idea, because we don't know where this came from before the library it was found in. Nothing really, it's all random, it's like nothing really has a connection to anything aside from the weird prophetic speech he gives, but we don't know why where that black hooded character is, like who he is and where he came from. We don't know why the lacerations and stuff are happening to Ronald. It's just there's a lot of unknowns in this one, so that make it it makes it a cool concept, but at the same time I kind of feel a little empty inside when I'm reading, because it's like I kind of would like to know a little bit. I want to know more.
Yeah, that's your problem.
Yeah, I know it is.
You need to be shown things. You can't be left in the dark. You don't have any...
I must know. I must see.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, that's, like, I suffer from that too, but I appreciated, like, having the assumption, like, oh, it's just it's a tape of, something that Reagan, like, of a speech Reagan did in another, alternate reality, and it was all. And then when I'm like, no, and then I'm wrong, I'm like, well, then what is it? And then I'm like, well, motherfucker, what is it?
Exactly, yeah.
And I'm like,
I get that.
Damn!
Yeah,
I get excited, and I get churning, and, like, I actually appreciate it. I don't need to know where it's from, because, or, how it came to exist, because, you know what, maybe it is,
you're satisfied
maybe it's this, maybe it's this. It could be anything, and that potential, means a lot more to me than being like, okay, it's this. This tape came from this monster's asshole.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I get what you're saying. And actually, I do get that same kind of, like, thrill of, like, speculating. It's just, I also get that kind of like, I really wish I want to know more. But yeah, so I guess it succeeds in that regard, like, because it makes you want to, like, talk about it and speculate about it. So I guess it does work on that.
And I also really appreciate the fact that Dr. Robinson's statement didn't try and answer any of those questions.
Yeah, that would have probably
because that would have really detracted from
the entry
that
itself.
little story. It would have been like, oh, you really,
you're trying
like, even if they were written by the same guy, I would have been like, motherfucker,
you ruined the magic.
Do that shit. Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is. Like I mean, I just complained about like it not giving me the information, but
if they told you, you'd be pissy about it.
Oh yeah, exactly. I was like, well, now I know it's not that fun. It's not that cool anymore. Yeah, like there's a magic to it with that kind of with like having to speculate. That's why I like Lovecraft stuff. Anyways,
yeah, an indescribable horror. Man, what does it look like?
I must see. I must know. Even if my eyes explode in the fire. Anyway, yeah, so cool entry, especially when you add on the statement. It just adds to it.
Yeah.
So,
like, I don't know if they were written by the same person or what have you, but they fit together so well.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, at the end of the entry, they talk about, Reagan's nightmares before Alzheimer's and all of that. And then in Dr. Robertson's statement, they're like, yup, this is why he was having nightmares, because he watched the fucking tape.
Yeah, and then some other weird stuff happened with him.
And it was, he doesn't really have Alzheimer's, but that's what it looks like, so that's what we're telling people.
Yeah. I also liked how it did give us, like, kind of some backstory on the Foundation. Like, they have this facility that that manufactures the drugs they use to do cover-ups, essentially.
That's not what it says. It says that they handle dispersion.
Sorry, yeah, that's what I mean.
Doesn't say anything about manufacturing.
Really? Okay,
yeah, it's just a front company.
Okay, I kept thinking, okay, I don't know, sorry.
I was going to let it slide, but then you said it again, and I'm like, motherfucker.
Sorry.
I got to slam that door in your nuts.
Ow. Oh. But I like the idea of we got a little bit more. We didn't get a lot of information about the origins to the story or anything, the entity or the object, but we got information about the Foundation a little bit with this.
Yeah,
which I'm not sure if it's anywhere else, but it's cool that it's in this story.
Yeah, I mean, I made the Heroes reference earlier, and that's really what it felt like. The horn-rimmed glasses guy from Heroes, Season 1. And I was just like, oh, man, no, okay.
Nice. All right.
That was my parallel.
Yeah. See,
that way I don't have to jump to the, like, ultra fantastic Men in Black. I can be like, oh, okay, it's a little more grounded. I mean, it's fantastic as all fuck still, but
yeah,
it's a little more grounded.
I mean, as much as you can ground a organization that take creepypasta entities and objects and tosses them into an archive.
Well, yeah.
And have ridiculous procedures for, like, bureaucratic procedures in dealing with them. But anyway, I don't think I have a whole lot else left about this one, because it's pretty, like, we've gone through pretty much everything that I think can be said.
Yeah. I got nothing.
Would you recommend both of them?
Yeah, together. Cause
yeah, definitely agree.
You don't need either one of them. Like, you don't need either one of them to make sense of the other, but they play off each other very well. I would not be surprised if someone were to tell me they were both written by the same person in that regard.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised. If not,
that was still
whoever
cool.
wrote the second one did a good job.
Yeah.
And yeah, I liked. For a story, I liked this from SCP Foundation because I know it's been a while since we've done SCP Foundation, and that's because
we need to find a story for it, because otherwise it's just a monster manual.
Exactly, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I fucking love reading the Monstrous Manual, but
we need a little bit more content.
Exactly. There isn't. Yeah.
There's no narrative.
Exactly.
With Dr. Robinson's statement, we get a narrative.
Exactly, and that's what. Yeah.
I think actually there's another one. that I've read that actually does have the entry, and then it actually includes a link on the entry to to another statement or to like a report by somebody who was in the field dealing with the entity. And it might actually be a good one to deal with. But we'll do that with another episode. So that's our episode for tonight. If you like what you heard, let us know either on Twitter at Dr.
Or if
Levi.
you didn't, I mean...
Yeah. I mean, if you think we're wrong and hate our guts and want to throw us hate mail, go for it.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah. And you can send those to Dr. Leviathan's Twitter or mine, Review Cultist. You can also send it in the comment section below, wherever this gets posted, either on Kiwi6, YouTube, Tumblr, Facebook. We're on iTunes, so if you'd like to send us a review, that would be awesome, because reviews on iTunes generally give us some more, or bump us up on iTunes, and they give us feedback on how we're doing. And if you'd like to donate, we do have a donate button on the Tumblr site. That's crazonstudios.tumblr.com. That's where I post all the title cards and direct links to the podcast as well. So go check it out there, too. And you can send us an email at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. Where you can also send us suggestions for other creepypastas you'd like us to review on the show, or even SCPs, because if you can find an SCP that you want us to review, and you can find a story that links to it, that would be definitely like a good, like... that would
we'll
be
get on that shit.
Yeah, that would be a full episode kind of thing, so... and maybe we'll do something like, maybe like on the side or something, we should figure out like to do like an SCP, like bestiary kind of thing, or like, I think we've been kind of talking about that. But anyway, that has been the show. So I have been your host, Review Cultist.
And I'm not Ronald Reagan, I am Dr. Leviathan.
And this has been Al Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well.